Hey everyone, the Walk Away campaign just released a video today celebrating their 1 year anniversary. And even though I'm no longer affiliated with the campaign, I just wanted to take a few moments to wish them all the best, let them know how happy I am for them, how awesome this is. And I'd really love to get your thoughts in particular about how this campaign's affected you, whether you even feel it's been effective, and the thoughts and experiences that you've had over the last year with Walk Away being in the mainstream. First, I just want to say thank you real quick to Juan and Heather for your recent channel donations. I really appreciate it. Everything's going towards trying to get a better camera. Not so much for these. I'm pretty good with this, simple talking into my phone format. But I'd really love to start taking high quality pictures of my original artwork and then maybe selling prints of those or other things. I'm thinking Society 6 right now. If anyone has horror stories from them or a better alternative, let me know. I'm totally open. I haven't made a decision yet on where I want to do this. Also, just want to give some really quick shout outs, and then I'm going to get into the actual point of this video. Bear with me, it'll be real quick. But I want to say just thanks to a couple of Twitter accounts that I love. Day and News 11, all one word. Really great guy. He's a progressive classic liberal, and we certainly don't agree on everything, but what I love about him so much is that he's one of those rare gems of people that just wants to have, reasonable, intelligent debate on Twitter. So if you would like to check him out, I'm going to link to his account below. I've had a lot of really great conversations with him lately, and he's just been a really awesome person to go back and forth with. I also want to give a congratulations to one of my dearest internet friends, my internet bestie, Real J Wills, and that's with a Z. He just broke 1,000 followers, and I'm so happy for him. He is one of the sharpest, brightest young minds on Twitter, and his views, I highly recommend following him. He is hilarious. He's controversial. He is probably going to say something that's going to offend you, but he gives it to the left and the right. He's a very outspoken conservative, and I just love him to pieces, and I'm really happy for him that he's hit that milestone. That's really great. So I'm going to link to him below too. So all that out of the way, I really want to know how you guys have felt the last year of having the Walk Away campaign, out in the open, and how you feel about Brandon Straka and his efforts. I love this channel and this community because we're all able to, debate, agree or disagree. And so I completely understand that Walk Away is not for everyone. It wasn't for me, as I've said. I walked away from Walk Away, and it had nothing to do with the way the place was run day to day, had nothing to do with the personalities. Some of you that have reached out to me privately, I've let you know, but we sort of had a behind the scenes kind of, I don't want to call it a falling out, because none of us left with bad blood and none of us left angry, so it wasn't that at all. But I spoke up and I objected to, if you guys remember back during the march, they had a gala and a breakfast event. My issue was that I felt like volunteers should have been invited as guests, and they weren't. They were expected to pay for a seat. Being someone who has had worked in nonprofits for almost 4 years, I'd never heard of that before from someone who was trying to get a nonprofit organization off the ground. Normally, and the place that I worked at, we held a gala every year, so it's not unheard of for them to do that. That whole idea of you got to spend money to make money definitely applies here, and more often than not, at least where I was, the food and the beverages were all provided by community restaurants. And so, it was an opportunity for you to dress up, to go out, to, rub elbows with your donors, with your board members. And so having your volunteers there as your guests was incredibly important. It did two things. It thanked them for their service and the time that they were donating to your cause. But more importantly, a director can't be everywhere at once at an event. And so these volunteers really worked, almost as like a PR team for your organization. You want them there, you want them smiling and happy, talking to people, talking to the board of directors, talking to all the other guests, explaining why they love your organization, why they're passionate about your mission. They're also going to, talk to other people about your needs, about your fundraising goals, about, the things that you'd like to see your organization have in the coming year. So it was surprising to me that they didn't invite the volunteers. I understand not being able to pay for, travel or accommodation. That, of course, makes perfect sense. But it just seemed like it would have been good form to say, hey, if you guys can get here and you can find somewhere to stay, we would love to have you there. But that didn't happen, and I raised my concerns a few times. It was just sort of, brushed off. And so that coincided right around the same time that I was getting burned out, being one of the lead moderators at the group. I was volunteering there sometimes 20 to 30 hours a week. And it started to, as I've said before in other videos, I really felt like the group was starting to get infiltrated by bots or trolls or both. But I kept seeing all these new people that were new to the group with vague profiles, very little information on their Facebook pages, and they wouldn't put their own testimony up, and all they would do is talk trash to other people. They would go to if someone said anything even mildly controversial in their testimony, they would get on and just rip them apart. And these were people posing as, both, conservatives and leftists, all coming on. And so they'd start ripping people apart, or they would find, one cherry-picked comment they didn't like and attack it. And you started seeing so much vile anger that was not at all what Brandon wanted out of that group. It wasn't what anybody wanted out of the group. And so both of those things together just made me realize that it was going to be better for me if I just walked away from Walkaway. I've been contacted before. You guys have asked before, why am I not featured over at the channel? Why are my clips never shown? I don't know. I'm guessing it probably has something to do with that. But as I said, I completely wish them the best. I hope that they're successful in their mission. I would love to see more people on the left walk away. As I've said, and as Brandon just said in a tweet, either today or yesterday, but it's not about walking away from the left and going to the right. It's just about recognizing what is happening on the left right now, and that you have to send a message, or we need to send a message by extricating ourselves from that party. So I myself remain an independent. I am more of a conservative, but I don't pick a party. I don't pick a label. I really just don't want anything to do with that. We're way too obsessed with labels right now. So that was sort of my experience with Walkaway, and I love them. They're great people. They're really passionate about what they're doing. And Brandon himself, I did get to meet him once, and he was just a wonderful guy. He really was, like, genuinely kind. He seemed, overwhelmed in a good way about all the positive feedback he was getting and what was happening with the campaign, and just super down to earth, just a really genuinely nice guy that you'd want to go hang out, grab a beer with. I have no issues with Brandon. I think he's awesome, and I think he's doing what he needs to do. And, we've seen him over the past year making the rounds on different conservative shows and channels, and I really wish them the best. I do understand that not everyone has had a positive experience with Walk Away, and so I acknowledge that. I get that. And I would really love to hear from you guys now. I'd love to hear what experiences you've had and your opinions on it. And if you disagree with me, or if there's things about it you don't like, by all means let me know. Or if you think I'm wrong in my objection about the gala, that's cool too. We're all here to converse with each other and share our thoughts, and do it in a way that we can comfortably disagree with one another, and we're not going to get offended, and we're not going to flip out. So that was it. I wanted to be quick. That rarely happens, but I love you guys, and I thank you all so much for the support you've given me over the past 10 months. And once again, happy birthday, Walk Away. Congratulations, Brandon Straka, and take care, everyone.